Valley report. And like I said, this is for people who are in the Valley. I'm here with you, okay? And this is the report. Last video's report was, legend has it, guys, there's a rainbow at the end of the storm. It's hard to see it. It's hard to see the rainbow at the end of the storm. Legend has it that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We gotta just keep going. And so, as I've been in this valley, I've been struggling with, like, why am I going? Like, at this point, I feel like I'm just tired. I feel burnt out. I feel like I'm only 26, right? And technically, I'm like a new adult because I just finished school last year, a year and a half ago. I just got into the real world for real. And so I feel a little behind or whatever you want to call it. But I'm just tired because I feel like I've just been put in situations where I like am on in these temporary stressful situations. And so that could be, and that started from 16. Like I moved out at 16. That living situation with my mom just wasn't gonna work. So then I moved with someone else. Then I moved with someone else. Then while I'm 4 years in college, it's like every time I come home from break, I have to find a place to stay just to get through, just to get through. Then I have to go to grad school. Then my mom passes away in grad school. Then I gotta stay here for a little bit, stay here for a little bit until I can get the job and get to the place where I could do it by myself. And so I found myself last year this time, maybe like a little close to last year this time, I found a place that I thought was going to be home for at least 2 years. Like, and that's a record for me, honestly. Um, I found a place that I felt like was going to be home. I had a job offer, and I accepted the offer where the salary was good. I started to have a plan, right? Finally, the thing that I've been searching for since I was 16, just stability and financial security. And I sound like Nene Leaks. And 6 months later, that blew up. So here we are back again, trying to find a place to live. The job only lasted 3 months because I realized even though the pay was good, um, it wasn't going to last long term because the job was not sitting right with my spirit. I was getting paid essentially to do nothing, which was a blessing. Like I wouldn't, and I don't regret taking that job to this day because I literally got paid for 3 months and I didn't. I probably worked maybe 5 hours with spread out the whole 3 months, and that's including driving an hour, maybe 8 hours because I had to drive an hour there and back to Greensboro twice. But I left the job because they were just doing some unethical things, and I just got this license and I'm not trying to lose it. I'm like, if somebody leaves this job before me and they want to report this to the board, I don't want to be on no investigation list. And it's not that I was doing technically anything wrong. I literally was not doing anything but sitting at home waiting for them to tell me what to do. And they say, okay, Ruby, next week you're going to be doing this. And then next week comes with it. Oh, no, that's not happening. Wait, just stay on standby. They were a new company. It was their first time working in the school system. And so they just kept getting things wrong. And so they had to keep restarting. And that went on for 3 months. So I just left. I left. And shortly after, I think they ended up laying off 80% of the company because they realized that they couldn't afford to pay us and they weren't making enough as much money as they had anticipated, and so they just couldn't keep it up. So there's that. Okay, so back to how I'm in the valley. Um, a lot of the things that I have been searching for so long, and someone can look and say, "Oh, you're only 16," but I mean, you're only 26. But 10 years of chronic stress of like, okay, like I just gotta get through this, and then the break is gonna come. I just gotta graduate this school, and then this is gonna come, and then I gotta get through this. And so then my mom passing away, and all the things that came with that. It was like by the time I got out of school, I was done. Like I barely made it. And school was not just, oh, go to school. Like I was going to school in Mississippi. So traveling back and forth between that. Then I went online, and then I had to go back the final summer to take some practicum and some stuff I had to do in person. And the process every semester, there was something going on with my advisor. It was some class. It was just so, like, it was so much harder than it had to be than what I had signed up for. So, yeah, tired. And then you want me to get out. Then I got to apply for the board. I got to apply for, to get credentialed with insurance companies, find a job. Like, I was just like, to a normal person, if you've had stability and a home life, like, that would be okay. But I was just burnt out. So I was depressed. Like, I was depressed. I didn't know it. And I'm grateful that I had like a great support system at the time, someone who was just encouraging me and keeping me like uplifted, even though they could see like, yeah, Ruby, let's go to the park, let's go to the gardens, let's go to the park. Things that I normally love to do, I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna rest. I'm just gonna rest. And while I'm doing that, right, I'm still like trying to find a job and going through interviews and trying to figure out, you know, what's best for me. So fast forward, things end up working out finally. Thank you, God. Everything that I've been praying for since I was 16 is finally working out. Like my car is paid off. I finally got a job. I finally have a place that I'm going to live in. And bonus, I get to live with someone who I don't feel like was like this is the first person that I stayed with and I didn't feel like living with them was like a burden. Like we're like family. We're best friends. We've shared a room together in the past, but like now we live in this beautiful house, beautiful neighborhood. House is coming together great. Like I'm paying down my credit card debt exponentially fast because of the way that our rent worked out and as much as I was getting paid. Things were going good until one day they just weren't. We're the lease is being terminated effective immediately. Best friend that I love dearly, and I this is beyond like I just feel like best friend does not even it doesn't do justice to the relationship that I have with this person. This person was like a mother to me. She was there when my own mom passed away, and even when my mom was alive, she was doing things that my mom was not even doing. Um, so dear to me. Gone. Okay. Um, and so that put me in a situation where, like, okay, and having everything just blow up the way that it did, it put me in a situation where I'm having to back to the streets, right? Oh my God, I gotta figure out where I'm gonna live. Oh my gosh, I gotta figure out my job. Like now, finding a job is even more important because I gotta find, um, I gotta get a security deposit. This, I gotta find somewhere to live. I gotta be able to take care of myself. Oh, now I gotta grieve the loss of the support system that I've had since I was 21, 22. Like, what am I going to do without the person who was always there for me? What am I going to do about, like, I, I don't know. I don't know. Even when my mom passed away, I had her. Like, if I, like I said, I didn't really talk a lot about my emotions, but if I just needed a hug, without saying any words, I could just walk up and ask for a hug or just get that constant support because I feel like I have friends who were also supportive, but those friends they were my age and they had their own things going on. So it was more like the friendships where we check in like once or twice a week. This was someone that we checked in every day. So now I'm like, I'm going through all these changes. I've got so dependent on you being there and it's just like I've never been through anything like this before. Like I've never grieved in this way before. My mom passed away, but she wasn't my best friend. I could go a week without talking to my mom and like it wasn't that type of relationship. So I've never had to grieve a loss like this before and try to figure out my job and try to when I tell you guys you want to talk about valley, you want to talk about dark getting darker, and then people who are on the outside looking in telling me, "Oh, you just gotta just go meet new people." I'm like, I'm tired. Like I don't think you understand how tired I am. And then icing on the cake, icing on the cake. So she was my best friend, right? Second place. Not that I have rankings for my friends, but my second best friend, I used to call her my spiritual counselor. She just ghosted me out of nowhere. Not because anything happened between us, but she was just going through a lot in her own life, and she just like Shawty. She didn't even say anything. She just disappeared. And so I asked her like, "What's going on?" She was just like, "Yeah, I'm just going through a lot." And so, and she knew I was going through a lot. Like I would give her flowers. Like she answered my phone calls when everything was happening. She would just reassure me. But she just told me like, "Yeah, I have a lot going on, and this is what I do when things get heavy for me. I just like to go away by myself." And so I'm just like, okay, so one is gone, two is gone. Then I had another friend. She has a history of this, and I'm not really that surprised if I'm being honest. But this during this transition, people knowing how important this friendship was to me, she did step up for a good like 2 months, which is a record because We don't have a history of being close for that long. And same thing, she just disappears. And so I'm just like, all right. So I really got to do this on my own. I really have to do this on my own. I have to, have to figure out, and it's not just find a job, right? If you are someone who is fresh out of school, the job market is tough right now because even if I just trying to get like a restaurant job or something like that, like it's college, it's summertime. College kids are home, so they're going back to their regular summer jobs. We have AI now, so they're like screening applications. So sometimes your application is getting pushed to the side before a person even gets to see it. Then it's figuring out, okay, what I want to do. I did try working at a psych hospital. Seen that video. If you haven't, go check it out. That didn't last long because I'm already depressed. So I'm sending me to a place with super depressed people who are trying to kill themselves, who are like, I was like, I'm going to end up as a patient. So I had to leave that as well. And so I'm here all alone, like truly just by myself. And I have some friends who when they can, like they got like, look, I can call you Fridays on my lunch break because they have, children. Some of them are married, some of them have, they have their lives. Like they're not who my other friend was, who was available whenever I needed, honestly. Or just intentional or cared that much. It was like, nah, Ruby's a primary like person that I check in with. So I'm trying to find that. Then I found myself trying to find her other people, and I just don't think that can exist because I'm expecting them to know me in a way that they don't, or respond in a way, or get certain things. And it's just like, they're not that spiritual, or they don't think that way. And so it's been rough for me. Okay. And so yes, trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, and just getting so mad at myself and so mad at God for being in this situation once again. One would think, well, Ruby, if you've been doing this for the past 10 years, really my whole life, because prior to me turning 16, my mom was someone who moved around a lot. My mom was someone who struggled with financial security. So you would think I'd be an expert at it. Yes and no. I'm tired. I'm just burnt out. It's very stressful. It's not a good cycle. And it's to the point now where I have to take responsibility. Like, yeah, I could blame my childhood on my parents. College, I'm still a kid. I'm just trying to get through school. Like, I don't really, all right, I've been out of college for a year, okay? I was depressed the first 6 months of the year. Like, just burnt out from life before that. Like, forget my mom dying. That was, but even if she didn't die, like, I still would have been in the same situation. Um, just the burnout of always trying to just make it to this one thing, and then dealing with betrayal and things like that. I've never, like, it's the valley. So valley report this time, now that I've spilled my guts out about who I am, what's been going on for me. I The valley report this time is, why do I keep going? Like, I used to ask God last week, not that long ago. Actually, last month, May was so horrible for me. It really was. And let me just finish my thought. I used to keep saying, God, just stop waking me up. Just stop waking me up. Why am I still going? Like, this is the only life that I've ever known. And it's just like little chunks of like stress relief, but the stress is just too much. It's killing me. My heart can't go on like this. I've been disappointed by so many people. I feel abandoned by my friends. And then the family that does want to be there for me, I just don't feel like they can. Like, I just don't. What they have to offer is just, like, I'm grateful for, my little siblings. They're like 10 and 11, or 11 and 12. They call. They don't really know too much what's going on, but they just care about me. And I'm grateful for, the aunts that check in or whatever. But I'm just tired. Like, I'm just tired of going. I feel like I made a bunch of decisions that got me here, and clearly I don't need to be in charge of making decisions if this is what all it's going to be. And it's just like, if this cycle of being in these stressful, tense situations just to figure out the basic necessities. Have you ever heard of Maslow hierarchy of needs? Like, survival mode is what I've been in for so long, and my nervous system is tired. My heart is tired. tired of being disappointed. And so the Valley Report, 20 minutes later, number 2 is, why do you keep going? I was like, God, why do you keep waking me up? I feel like I wake up in a video game every day. I'm like, oh, gotta make it to the end of the day. Let me feed myself. Let me go wash my car. Let me go clean up that. Like, it's just like, I'm just surviving. Like, and it's like, I went through a phase, the last 6 months of last year were actually better than the first 6 months. And I went through a phase of positivity, believing in myself. And I feel like I tried that. And I'm like, and it seemed like it worked a little bit, but then it just came crashing down. And so I'm like, I don't even want to try that. So why do I keep going? And I saw this post on Instagram, and it was like, you owe it to yourself to see what happens if you keep going, if you push through this hard time. I've made a video in the past talking about how life is a journey. It's a journey, okay? Like, on one shroom trip, it came to me that life is a journey, and you just put one foot in front of the other. And when you put one foot in front of the other, that's just like a day. It's like, okay, this day, this day, this day, this day. And on this journey, you're going to walk through valleys. You're going to go up mountains. You're going to experience different climates along this journey until it's time to go home, okay? And so you're fortunate enough to have had people walk beside you. And that's what marriage is to me. It's like when someone commits to, I'm going to do this beside you. Like, we're on a walk, but like, I want to walk beside you while I, am exploring and seeing and experiencing all the different climates as well, but I want to do it beside you. Not only with marriage, but also friendship. There are friendships that last longer than marriages. Like, there's some people who have friends that have been married 2 or 3 times. And there are people, and honestly, I think marriage is a friendship, right? There should be partnership. And some people are fortunate to have siblings who are, you're related by blood, but not everybody relates to their siblings. Not everybody gets along with their siblings, so they might not get that support. And so I'm like, Ruby, it's a journey. Ruby, it's a season. And I was on a walk the other day, and I was slightly microdosing. Not slightly, I was on shrooms, but it was a microdose. And I was on this path that me and my friend had went on in January. It was below freezing. It was brown everywhere, super cold, below freezing, okay? To the point where when she came back to the car, her mouth was like, like, and I remember staring, took a picture, and I was like, one day I'm going to come here and it's going to be green. It's going to be green. It's going to be hot. Like, it was so hard to imagine standing there in the cold. It was so cold. I think I had an issue with my legs, so I couldn't run that long. I couldn't run that far, but I did do, like, I was bundled up, okay? I think I even made, like, a ski mask out of a tank top over my face. And so, from the wind. And so, to go back to that path and see how green it was even hard to imagine, like, how, wow, this is all brown and dead and cold, like, so cold. But when I went there this day, it was like 90 degrees, and just the feeling of the warmth is just like standing in the contrast. Like, a place that can feel so cold, so brown, so bitter, so look so dead. I'm standing here 6 months later, and there's butterflies, there's rabbits, there's snakes, there's deer, there's beautiful flowers, berries. But the main thing that really like made me tear up on this walk was feeling the warmth. Like, feeling the warmth of the heat from outside. When I remember how bitter that cold was, it literally made me tear up. And so people see me walking on this trail. Listen, this is the Valley Report. This valley for me is so deep that I don't even walk around with tissues. I walk around with a rag. I walk around with a rag because I'm liable to start crying at any moment. And I can't keep wasting tissue, so I keep a rag. So people probably think I got a rag because I'm sweating. No, I carry a rag with me because I'm wiping tears. And these were happy tears of like, wow, like, this is really what life can do. Like, this is life. Like, I made a video short talking about the churches outside. We can learn so much from nature. And I just had to tell myself, like, I owe it to myself to see what happens if I keep going, because There are days where I don't want to. I'm like, oh, yep, I've had enough. And people are like, you're young, da da da. And it's just like, I'm young and I've seen the Eiffel Tower. I've I've traveled the world. I've done all the things. Like, all right, I've experienced all of this experience. Like, this is just it. And I was watching some podcast, and this lady was talking about what it was like to watch her mom take her last breath. And her mom had like a degenerative disease, and so she just slowly watched her mom pass away. And it made me think of my close friend at the time who had a similar experience. And in her experience, she was telling me, like, I feel like we were friends for so long, and like, because my mom eventually passed away too, but her sharing her story of her mom, I started to feel like I know this woman. Like, I had dreams about her, but she even showed me pictures of her, like, in the hospital after she died. Like, I've seen pictures of her in the casket. I've seen pictures of her alive. I've seen videos of her dancing and singing. Like, I've learned this woman's story, but just learning about how there are people who are in hospital beds who are deteriorating slowly. Like, there's a doctor that told you, you have 6 months. You have two. Like, you're in their last days. And it's not like they're in their last days walking and running. Like, you're in your last days, like, slowly losing their ability to even take care of themselves. And so that put it into perspective too. Like, Ruby, you can still walk, you can still feed yourself, you can still, like, these are all gifts. In the midst of all this going on, you can open a water bottle, you can, walk without getting dizzy, you're not being pushed around in a wheelchair, nobody's wiping your butt. Like, you owe it to yourself while you still have it to see what happens when you keep going. And with the mindset of, from the last Valley Report, let's see what the legends are talking about. Let's see what this light at the end of the tunnel, let's see what it's about. Let's see about this rainbow at the end of the storm. I literally was watching a storm and the rainbow came, and I was like, I forgot about rainbows. I forgot that happens. And so if it can happen to all these other people who are sharing their stories about their dark times, and they make it out and they become successful and achieve their dream. And it don't have to be, my dream is to be a millionaire. It could be, my dream is to have a family. My dream is to open a business. My dream is to, if not them, I mean, if it can happen to them, then it can happen to me. And so that is the Valley Report, guys. You owe it to yourself to see what happens if you keep going. Not even see what happens if you keep going. Just see how it plays out. It's like, all right, yeah, things feel shitty. I feel alone. I feel lost. I feel confused. But for some reason, God keeps waking me up. For some reason, like, if my purpose was really not supposed to, like, God doesn't make mistakes. So if I really wasn't supposed to be here, then I would just not wake up. But there's some force that keeps my heart pumping. And not only is it keeping my heart pumping, it's keeping my body healthy. And I can do all these things. Yeah. Let's see what this is about. Because when it's time to go, it's time to go. If it was time for me to go, I would have got hit by a car by now. I would have passed that. Like, so many things could happen where I don't have to be here. Freak accidents happen all the time. Illnesses pop up all the time. And so it's just like, it's gonna end at some point anyway. So let's just live to find out how the story ends for someone who pushes through. And I can look back at my life at times where I did push through dark seasons. None of them have ever compared to this one, I will say. None of them have ever compared to this one. And it's funny because one of my old best friend, whatever you want to call it, friends from the past, she lost someone who was her best friend, which was her mom. And I just couldn't fathom. I'm like, so y'all talk on the phone every single day? Y'all did, like, and like, I'm like, how are you still here after that? Like, how, like, I used to ask her, it just didn't make sense to me, like, how someone could function, how you could go on with life, how, like, your world just stopped and ended. And it's like, how are you still able to, I didn't understand it. And it's like, and at the time my mom was alive, but I'm like, I didn't talk to her every single day. She wasn't my person. She wasn't someone who understood me. Like, I didn't have that. So I'm like, I've never had that. But if I did have that, like, I don't think I could imagine losing that. And now that I don't have her as a best friend, like, she was someone who I talked to every day. She was a person who I felt like understood me in a way that other people didn't. She was someone like a safe space, my first real safe space where I could just be me. And not having that, I'm like, I'm gonna take my glasses off. Babe. Bye. I was like, yeah, buddy, she's built different. It just gave me a bigger context of how to understand her more. Cause like before you met me, and like, not to say that I'm all that either, but it's just like, I don't know how you did it, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it, honestly, moving forward. But you just do it. God gives you strength. He gives you life, and so you just take advantage of it, because there's somebody who's watching theirs leave them every day. There's somebody who is like, they know they're about to die, and there's nothing they can do about it. And the sad part is, while they're dying, they can't even enjoy life to get up and go for walks in the park and do these things. Like, so you just have to be grateful and put it into perspective. Like, everybody's going through something. Your brain will tell you, you're the only one. Nobody understands. Somebody understands. Somebody else is going through this too. And back to one of my shroom reports from a year ago. Life is not something you have to do, it's something you get to do. And so if you feel like life is a punishment, like you just wake up every day and you wake up and you're like, ugh, I'm still here. The pain is still here. The debt is still here. The grief is still here. The shame is still here. I just would encourage you to reframe how you look at that, how you speak to yourself. One thing I realized is that we are souls, right? And we're spirits, but we also have a brain. The brain is a muscle. It's a fleshly thing, right? We're spiritual, but our brain is flesh. And our spirit can feed our flesh. And so, like, the brain is going to do what it's going to do. If you put negative thoughts in the brain, it's like a garden. You put negative seeds, that is what's going to grow. If you water negative thoughts, like some thoughts we can't control, they just fly in and fly out. You're not your thoughts, right? But what you put your attention on is you watering them. So it's like, if you make your brain, if you train it to be something that is mean to you, something that is not nice, not positive, you can't escape it. It's inside your head. Like, that's what you're going to have to live with. And so part of the fight is training your brain to be more positive, to be more grateful, to be more appreciative, to be more understanding, to be more forgiving of yourself and others. Training your brain to look for the good things, to be intentional about being a good person, and like, you have to train it. Because if you let it go rogue, like, it's going to go rogue. It's going to tell you to leave. It's going to get to the point where if you keep saying, oh, there's no point, your brain is going to be like, yeah, there's no point. Go get that gun. Go down to the bottom of that ocean. You don't belong here. Like, because that's what you're feeding it. And it's just like, okay, this is what works. This is what, keeps getting more attention. So let's generate more and more and more of this. But if you train your brain to be more positive, that's why I think you don't necessarily have to be a Christian or go to church, but feeding yourself with like positive affirmations, knowing that there is some universal God that is loving, and just that better days are coming. And just, that's what it is for me. I just believe, like, you never know, Ruby. Like, if you gave up today and you found out that 2 weeks from now, all you had to do was make it to 2 more weeks, you was going to get an email from a job finally that pays X amount, and you're going to get your apartment and this and that. You never know. If tomorrow, that one person that you want to hear from might send you a text and say, hey, I would like to have coffee and have a conversation with you. You never know The love that you thought you could never find, you never know if it's right around the corner. And so giving up, like, life is so final. Like, once it's done, like, once I'm done, I'm done. There's never going to be a Ruby Patrice Mullen to walk this earth ever again. So it's just like, because it's such a final thing, it's just like, I owe it to myself to, like, really, I owe it to myself to see it through. I've come too far. Okay? You've come too far if you're listening. And there are things that my heart desires and I gotta see how it plays out. I gotta see how it plays out. Like, that person, that career, that this is, it could be there, but I would never get to it. Like I said in my video, you don't get to the park if you turn around. If you're going to the park and you want to go to the park and then you get tired and you go back home, you never make it to the park. You don't know who's going to be there, what's waiting for you. And so the Valley Report is, once again, you owe it to yourself to see how it plays out if you keep going. Like, they're not going to write no books. This book, the Bible, been floating around for hundreds of years, a couple thousand maybe. I don't know how long this Bible has been around. Hundreds of years. And it's comprised of stories of people who struggled and people who had faith and how it worked out, how God showed up for them. If you don't subscribe to the Bible, you can go on TikTok. You can see people who had struggle stories. They struggled, they had faith, and it worked out. My friend was telling me about the guy who made the Dyson vacuum, struggled, I almost went bankrupt, all these things, and it worked out. So that is a universal pattern, okay? The seasons, all the leaves fall, it gets cold, things die, and then new things come, new leaves come, summer comes, it works out. So that is my Valley Report, okay? Number 2. You just gotta, that's like the difference between winter and summer is time. So much unfolds in time. So much unfolds in time. Time don't need your help, okay? It just needs you to trust it. Trust that this season is happening for your good, even if it doesn't feel good. The things that don't feel good, maybe they're teaching you things about yourself. It's teaching you things about other people. Like, I used to see the world a certain way. I see the way that I see the world changing. Had it not been for this season, I would not have had access to this perspective. I wouldn't, because I didn't have this experience, right? The way you think about people, the way you think about yourself, the way you learn about yourself is through experimentation. And this is all one big experiment, one big experience. So, Valley Report number 2 is, we gotta just hang on. It's gonna be okay. What Friday said? And we done came way too far. Way too far. What's that other song? I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Think about it. Did he bring you this far to leave you? Nobody said the road was going to be easy. That's something I struggle with. I have this idea that life is supposed to be easy, so when it's not, I'm like, why is this happening to me? Nobody said this was going to be easy. There's people who look at me and think that my life is easy. Family members who didn't go to school, who haven't, traveled and done all the things that I've done, they look at me and they think it's easy. Oh, it's just easier for you. It's like, no, baby. Life is hard. It's all relative. We all have our own struggles. There's some people who go through things and you have no idea. You look at them, oh, you're so happy. excuse me, you're so positive. Things always work out for you. You're this and that. And inside, that person is grieving. That person is broken. That person is lonely. That person is depressed. That person is like, has things that haven't happened to them and they're wondering why me. There's people who are struggling with illnesses. You have no idea. Like, there's people who get diagnosed with things and they don't tell their family. They struggle inside. They don't tell their husband, like, out of fear of like embarrassment, or they don't want people to feel bad for them. They feel like they, not important enough to have people worrying about them. You don't know what people got going on. You really don't. So that's why it's super important to be kind to people, for real, because you really don't know what people are going through. And it's important to be careful how you treat people, because you could be spazzing out on me and you don't even know, like, this is my last day on this motherfucking planet. Like, I'm really about to kill myself, and you doing what you did was the proof that I needed, that I don't need to be here. You never know. You never know what someone is going through. You can't judge a book by its cover. Because I came in well dressed and I'm well spoken. So yeah, be careful how you treat people. And it's okay to decide, like, hey, you're my sister. We had a great childhood together, but as adults, our personalities don't mix, X, Y, and Z. Like, I can not want to deal with you, but still be respectful. I can treat people, even if you decide, like, okay, I don't want you in my life anymore, this and that. You can do that with care. You can transition with care and respect and kindness. You don't got to be nasty. You don't got to be rude. You don't got to, we're all humans. And life is hard. Okay? So that is the Valley Report. Let's just, guys, I don't know who left me in charge to be the Speaker of the Valley, but let's see what happens if we keep going. And while we're going and while we're walking, other than just surviving, like putting food in our body and water and moving our body, and even if you're doing therapy and stuff, like, just be intentional about being a good person. If you wrong somebody, if you know that you did something wrong. I had to apologize to my sister not that long ago about something I did as a kid. I'm like, look, growing up, I was the oldest. I was like, I'm sorry for how I treated you. I was treating you how the adults treated me. Like, I just mean, like, oh, kids go play, this and that. I never took the time to get to know you and make you feel like a person. I just made you feel like an object that needs to play, get out my face. I'm like, and I didn't realize the effect that had on you. I can't be like, oh, well, I was a kid, that's what I would just do. And just know, like, you hurt somebody and they're still alive and you have an opportunity. Not everybody's going to receive your apology. She could have said, nah, what you did was wrong, da da da. Like, she could have. I mean, parents don't always get it right. Sometimes it can be hard to admit. You can say, oh, I was just learning. But if you hurt somebody and they're still alive, I feel like, hey, even if they don't receive it, you can, and then maybe they blocked you, and so you just feel like, or maybe you don't even have to, yeah, maybe they blocked you, or maybe you blocked someone who did you wrong. I'm not saying you have to become friends with someone who did you dirty again, or I'm not saying you have to allow disrespect, because life is short and people are human and this and that. But forgive them and forgive yourself. And ask for forgiveness if you can. And whatever the other person decides to do with it, that's up to them. My dad asked for, one time when I was a kid, he told me that the reason why he treated me the way that he did is because he wanted me to feel how my sister felt, because I had godparents who spoiled me and not her. He apologized to me. I was 12 at the time. I didn't know what to do with that. But I respect that he was big enough to come say that to me when he was probably in his 40s and I'm 12, and how he treated me for however many years of life. My mom has apologized for things she done in the past, like, and up to the other person, but just be intentional about being a good person and how you treat people and how you treat yourself. And there are some rules and exceptions to the rules where if it's like if someone is threatening your safety, they're like mentally not there, spiritually it's just like you can feel there's like darkness and stuff. Like protect your energy, protect your peace. It's not worth, you know, oh, I want to accept that apology, this and that. You know, it's not genuine. You know, it's not coming from a good place. So use your spirit of discernment. But yes, life is short, but use your valley to face your demons. Use it to any guilt, shame, any negative thoughts you have or beliefs you have about yourself, about life. Face them head on. Face them with seeing eyes. See, like, ask God to give you clarity and truth to, you know, open your eyes to things that you may have missed, to things that it's trying to teach you. So that way, when we step into the light and we step into the rainbow and we come out, we're going to come out of this valley as new people. We're better. We're better, and it meant something. Like, we didn't go through all that just to be the same, just to be worse. So yeah, that's all I got. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I don't care if you have someone and you say, oh, she's perfect. You don't know her. You don't know him. Pop, grandma, this, that. Like, everybody has things that, and maybe the older people, I get them like, okay, they probably have grown into some super wise beings. But we all have things or have done things that were just not right or just wrong. And it might not have been intentional. Maybe it was intentional at the time, but we all just need grace. And we all need self-respect too. So, yeah. That's all, guys. Valley Report is we owe it to ourselves to see what happens. Be trusting. Believe what the legend says. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Believe that there's a rainbow at the end of the storm. Believe that the summertime will come. It will be warm again. There will be butterflies in a place where it's just dead. There will be green leaves back on the tree. Believe all of the things. And that's all I have. So this is my second Valley Report video. It's pretty long. I did have some coffee, so I'm a little more talkative. My energy is a little better than the last video. It does, because I am in the valley, I will be honest, it is hard for me to get up on here and make videos. Like, some days I don't have, like, I have it, but I don't want to encourage us to go backwards. I don't want to get on here and tell people to turn around. Don't go forget the part, you know. And so, when I have it, I give it. And when I don't, I don't. But this is good practice for me being vulnerable, transparent, hopefully helpful, if not to anyone else, to myself, because the way that this grief has been going, like, I'm probably here, but if there's ever a day where I'm down here, I could click this and go back in here. So yeah, be kind, loving, and caring to yourself and others. Be grateful. Gratitude is the cup, but gratitude is what fills the cup up. So, you know, when the glass is half full or half empty, gratitude fills it up. You have so much to be grateful for, even if it's your sense of smell, your sense of touch. You can move your fingers. You can, you know, go for a walk. There's some people in a wheelchair right now. There's someone who's losing their lives, or someone who's watching someone they love lose their life. And if that's you, be grateful that you get the privilege to get a front row seat of how precious life really is. Because you don't, until you actually see it, you watch someone fight for their life, someone that you love, someone, like, you're standing, you know, you've been there, you watch them lose their hair, you watch them lose their strength, you watch them lose their ability. Like, not many people, and I've never seen it in person. This is just off secondhand experience. You know, through hearing from my friend and her experience, you don't fully understand how precious the small things that so many people take for granted. Like, You over here stressing about this, and someone is literally losing their life. They're dying slowly. Like, they know that they have 2 weeks, 2 days, like, you, like, it's really a blessing. And the lessons that you can take away from that can impact the way that you view your life moving forward, in the way that you help other people and show up for other people, show up for yourself. It's a beautiful thing. And so, gratitude, being grateful for the ability to be strong enough to stand next to someone while they're, in their last moments, to be strong enough to get up and get out of bed and push through while going through something like that. You built different. Some people couldn't do it, but you can, and you're still alive for a reason. So, for all the people who are caregivers, um, for people with terminal illnesses, or you've been affected by that, like, don't let their life be in vain. You, for whatever reason, you guys chose each other in this lifetime. You chose to experience this together, and it's such an honor and a privilege to um, be able to be there for someone in a time like that. And you are a strong soldier. You're built different, because a lot of people don't experience those things, and the fact that you experience it, you keep going, and you don't allow that to make you a bitter person. But if anything, it helps you appreciate life even more, because you know what it can look like to lose it. It's different. And look at me talking like I watched that happen to someone. I feel like it, and I've watched, podcasts and heard people talk about their stories. So, yeah. And that could be me. Like, I don't know what the future holds. So, yeah, if I found out, okay, Ruby, in 15 years, 20 years, you're going to be diagnosed with something, you're not going to be able to walk, you're not going to be able to take care of yourself.